our official, unofficial Springbok 15.
Let's burn through that.
So, welcome to the video everyone, my name's Nick.
And I'm Dax.
And welcome to the Call Room, our rugby union chat show. So we normally do something different in our preview video. So today we're going to take 6 rounds of Super Rugby and try and smash together a Springbok team essentially. And maybe down the line we'll do a Wallaby one, maybe an All Blacks one.
We'll see. I think our focus this one is for the Springboks. We want to start putting out where we see like certain of the players that have where they've shone and that type of thing. We're sticking to Super Rugby at the present moment, so only the 4 South African franchises, so the Stormers, the Bulls, the Lions and the Sharks at the present moment.
Cheetahs and Kings aren't under consideration, and neither are any players that are overseas based.
Yeah, so let's start with the fullback.
Yeah.
And we've picked 2 guys who are massive potentials.
Yeah, so we got Galant from the Bulls and Murray from the Stormers. It's pretty up in the air which one. I would preferably start Galant, just because of his running ability, which is arguably superior to Murray's. But Murray is the type of player that will do the job. He's reliable, get the job done.
Yeah, good under a high ball. He's got a good boot in him. He's also a really reliable penalty and conversion kicker as well. Both of them have attacking mindsets. Murray a little bit more in the ability of how he can distribute the ball, maybe a little bit more superior than Galant, but both of them really exciting players and really are real frontline contenders.
Yeah, number 14, we've got a toss-up between Travis Ishmael from the Bulls and Dylan Lates from the Stormers. I'm sensing a pattern here.
Yeah, there might be, but look, the positives out of both these 2 players: one, both of them have been really sound defensively out wide. 2, both of them have a good boot on them, so they can fulfill the fullback role if necessary, or they can slot into that position in the defensive line, so they understand the positional shifts that are required for them. Both of them are fantastic runners with ball in hand. And both of them have a really good mind for distribution as well. I mean, both of them I consider really good contenders for that for the right wing berth, because yes, they are going to face generally larger left wingers running down that side, and both have proven that they can defend that side.
Yeah. Outside centre, this is our only 3-way position really. We've got Lucanio from the Sharks, Jesse Creel from the Bulls, and Iavir Viljoen.
Yes, you got it.
Yes.
From the Stormers.
Based on current form, Creel is in the mix on his versatility.
Yeah, he's definitely in the mix, and he's been the first choice not only for Alistair Coetzee in his 2 seasons. We also had with
I wouldn't market that.
But we did have him with Heineken Meyer starting in the outside centre berth as well. Strong runner. He is fairly physical in the contact. I'd like to see him straighten the line a little bit more. He's he's been a little bit better this season, but I'd like to see him do it a bit more. If you look at, say, for example, Lucanio and Iavir Viljoen, they straighten the line a little bit more than him. Lucanio is definitely the informed outside centre for me at the present moment. Unfortunately for him, he's not being utilised.
He's not playing for a team that likes the backline.
No, they're not. But sound defensively, he's got a really good game sense and really good on defence. Actually, all 3 players have been really good on defence, and all 3 have been really good attacking. So that's our 3-way split for the outside centre bit.
Yeah. Inside centre, I mean, it's really about who you want to start out of these 2. I would personally start Johan Janssen van Rensburg and have De Lende on the bench or in the reserves, just purely because he's a stronger runner than De Lende. He's got a more kind of versatile game.
He's in the lower centre of gravity, but we also have to consider that De Lende is improving as well. The first 2 games of the season he didn't really
He's showing
He's showing
the
a lot
Delende
more.
of old,
Yeah,
which
so-
is something we haven't seen since what 2012.
Yeah, well, 2013, which is basically his debut season. But he is getting to that. Both of these players are really physical runners. Both are starting to get that distribution really working, and both are fronting up defensively in that channel. So both exciting prospects. I think you'll probably see that these players will probably be on a rotational basis. We also need to consider into the fact that there might be a young Serpentine also in the picture who's currently playing overseas. But in terms of what we're picking, just in terms of local stock, these two are definitely our front runners at the present moment.
Yeah. Number 11, no questions asked, is Jante from the Lions.
Jante. This guy has been at dynamite.
Yeah.
I mean, he's had really great start to his season. Unfortunately, for him, the side as a whole hasn't been performing too well in the last 3 games that they played. But this he's had 3 or 4 moments of individual brilliance that just shows you how dangerous this guy can actually be. He's also been fairly sound under a high ball, and for his small stature and size, he's done very, very well defensively. There's been no other left winger that has really shown massive potential as of yet to challenge him in this position as of yet, but the season's still young. And there's probably going to be 1 or 2 guys who will probably put up their hands that we can actually put in that position alongside him.
Fly half, it's a toss up between experience and new blood. Essentially, with Andre Pollard and Rob Dupree.
Yeah.
So Pollard, he's Mr. Dependable, and he's also got that flair. He's a strong ball carrier. He takes up to the line.
He does, and he doesn't like to sit back in the pocket, or he doesn't like to sit.
But he has the ability to sit in the pocket as well.
I mean, he is definitely our first choice, and I 100% agree with this. He's at the right age. He's got the right temperament. He's a big physical fly half as well. I mean, he's really, really good on defense. He's really dependable with ball in hand. He's really good at distribution, getting guys into the game line.
In fact, there are rumours circulating about a possible captaincy situation in the next couple of seasons.
Look, I would like to see him given the captain's band a little way down the line. I would actually first and foremost like for him to develop his game and just focus on his game at the present moment. He's still young, he's still got a long career ahead of him. Let him just gain that confidence. Robert Dupree from the Sharks is our second pick. I mean, unfortunately, it's probably down to the Sharks' game plan that things aren't working very well, but also again in the same mold as Andre, likes to take it up to the game line. He's a big physical fly half with a really good distribution skills. Maybe just needs to work on his kicking game a little bit.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's a great fallback for Andre Pollard. If you're wondering why Alton Yankees is not considered in this at all, I think a lot of the Lions' woes is because he's not good at in general play at the present moment.
Yeah.
He's not that great defensively at the present moment, and his decision making is extremely poor. So he's not taken into consideration for this.
Scrum half, it's really for me, I struggle with the scrum halves because I feel that since the retirement of Fred Dupree in South Africa, we've really struggled at the scrum half berth, and we're just trying to find a patchwork solution to it. And I still feel we're trying to find the solution, but going off of current form and stuff like that, it's between Durvanacher of the Stormers and Schroeder of the Sharks. Both have very similar styles. They're quick to the ruck, both of them. They have good distribution. They
front up defensively as well. I mean, Louis Schroeder is not a biggish player by any means. He's tall and lanky, kind of in the same vein as Joost van der Westhuizen of old was. Duvenacher probably a little bit shorter, but with the wider stock. But both of them brave on defense. Both of them great distributors. They get to the rucks and mauls very quickly. I mean, they definitely got the cooler heads out of all the scrum halves that I've seen. They've been very, very good under pressure. They haven't faltered under pressure as of yet.
No.
And to be quite honest, you need that in a scrum half. You need a guy who can get his fly half into the game as well as say, let's bring it up for a few phases with the forwards and like that, set it up, let's and they've done that. Unfortunately for the Sharks, it's been again, we say it's probably the game plan that's been working against them. But Schroeder's always been a standout in the Sharks games, and Duvenacher has always been a standout in terms of the Stormers. So those are our number 9 picks so far.
Yeah. Number 8, well, not really any standard number 8s in the last couple of weeks. Warren Whiteley's coming back soon, so that's why we've included him in our little unofficial team. And we've also kind of penciled in Dan du Preez from the Sharks. He's also been out injured, but he's coming back soon. And just like his brother, when he's on the field, exciting things happen. So I've penciled him in there.
Yeah.
Personally, it depends. I think it depends on the type of rugby that Rassie Erasmus wants to play.
Yeah.
If he wants to play a more running game, I would pick Whiteley. If he wants to play a more physical dominance game, I'd pick du Preez.
Yeah, but it also depends on the captaincy ban that's going to be given. Warren Whiteley is a front runner again in terms of the captaincy, but yes, I agree. Warren Whiteley will probably be the Mr. Dependable. Dan du Preez will probably come in as an impact player more than likely. So, but Dan is a very physical number 8, which is predominantly what you want in a number 8 man, in the same vein as Dwayne Vermeulen. Both of them can run with the ball. I mean, Dan has shown that he has a bit of pace over short distances.
Yeah.
So yeah, both exciting prospects, but Warren Whiteley will probably be the first pick in terms of if he gets the captaincy ban. Which brings us to the number 7s.
Number 7s, I'm Jean-Luc du Preez all the way. I mean, we've selected 3 du Preez in this unofficial team, all related.
But because they're all fantastic players.
But you argued for the inclusion of Kwagga Smith.
Yes, and there is a reason for that. Where Jean-Luc kind of fills the old bone collector position of a previous stocky blindside flanker. Jean-Luc fulfills that role. He's really, really strong with ball in hand. He's really, really good in the ruck and maul situations. But in terms of the change in game plan, much as you said, like Warren Whiteley for a fast-paced game, Dan du Preez for a more like physical test match thing, where we had Jean-Luc for that physical presence. I said Kwagga Smith from the Lions basically because of the dynamic he brings to that, and because of our choice in number 6 also will weigh into that. So we'll get to that in a minute.
We only have one choice at number 6.
We only have, but there's a reason why we've also included Kwagga. So Kwagga's one really, really good in terms of speeding up the game. He's also really good over the ball. I think not having him will actually be detrimental to the overall game or to the forwards. I mean, he is physical as well.
Yeah.
I mean, his work rate is fantastic as well, and you need that in your flankers. Which brings us to number 6, Mr. Fantastic, Siya Kolisi.
Yeah, there was no question about who's going to be at number 6. Although thinking about it, Rudolf Smith could make it, but anyway.
He could make it as well, but
really it's Siya Kolisi all the way. He's really Mr. Dependable, but not in like he'll get the job done time after time, but he will get a job done well, time after time.
I mean, the guy really wears his heart on his sleeve. He's also, as far as I know, he's probably included in what we call the senior players role, where he's going to be responsible for the core team in terms of giving them that confidence boost, being a leader. I mean, Siya Kolisi is one of those type of characters who leads from the front, and to be quite honest, he's done that time and time and again. Whether it's been in defeat or by victory, the guy has been Mr. Dependable, and I actually don't see the team without him.
Yeah. Then we get to our locks. We're probably boring them a bit, so let's
speed it up. Franco Mostert and
Peter Steck for number 5.
For number 5, both fantastic line-up jumpers, really good generals in the engine room. We don't see the team without them, which brings to their lock partners, R.K. Snyman from the Bulls, who's been fantastic, and then
really good runner,
surprisingly, and Ron Buerta from the Sharks, also a good line-up jumper. Unfortunate in terms of the Sharks losing causes, but he's been a fantastic line-up caller.
Yeah.
He's really done very well in general play, I mean, look, there's no shortage of locks.
Yeah.
I mean, we could name quite a few more.
We're well stocked in the lock front because we have to remember that Eben Etzebeth, he most likely would be on this list, but he hasn't played a game yet.
Yeah, and he's injured.
There's no talk of him returning to the field anytime soon.
So
moving on to tight head, South Africa is lacking quality tight heads. We tend to do a patch job with our tight heads and take a larger loose head and say, great, you're a tight head from now. Trevor Nyankani, Thomas du Toit, even Kuni Oosthuizen at one point was a loose head.
Yeah, but Kuni Oosthuizen, out injured, was doing really, really well in the tight head before his untimely injury last year. But we've only got one official tight head who has been scrummaging like an absolute demon, and that's Vilkala of the Stormers. I mean, the guy has been... I don't think he's been pushed back once yet. He's been very, very good on defence. He's also been very, very good in open play. He's really, really our first choice for tight head there. And no surprises here in terms of our first choice hooker, Malcolm Marx of the Lions.
Yeah.
The guy is a physical presence no matter what in open play, rucks, mauls. The guy, there are question marks in terms of his line-out throwing ability.
But he makes up for it in other ways. He's essentially an extra flank on the field. He's like a Bismarck. You wanted Akker van der Merwe on the list. I said he wasn't needed, but you can...
Well, look, you can't have Malcolm Marx play 80 minutes all the time, even though he possibly could. But in terms of player management, we did have to choose a second one. Akker van der Merwe also used to be his Lions number 2. I think he actually deserves a chance. I mean, the guy's tenacious in open play. He's tenacious in the rucks and mauls. The guy deserves his place, to be quite honest.
And then finally, Lou said, I chose Steven Kitsoff as the number 1 choice for number 1.
Mm-hmm.
He's really solid. He's active on the field.
Yeah.
And scrum. He's a really strong player in the scrums.
Yeah.
And then we also have the veteran Tendai, the Beast, and Tararira.
The Beast is an institution in the South African scrum room. I mean, we do need that veteran in terms of just like the scrums.
Yeah.
I mean, no team until he retires. I will always see him as one of the players that needs to be a part of the core senior player group.
Yeah.
And Beast hasn't been scrummaging that bad. He's been fairly good in open play. He has had like really good go forward ball. So yeah, I think he still deserves his place in the block team.
And then let's just quickly run through this week's games and
predictions.
What we thought. So quickly, predictions.
Yeah, so it's a 3-day weekend again, so Friday, Saturday and Sunday. Starting off on Friday, nice and early, Chiefs versus Highlanders. This is going to be an exciting one, New Zealand derby. We are going to be backing the Chiefs on this one.
Yeah, Chiefs all the way, not by much, by 7, because it's a New Zealand game, so we're hoping it's a tight one. Then we go into later in the day in Melbourne. We've got the Rebels versus the Hurricanes. While we've been impressed by the Rebels this season, we're going to have to go with Hurricanes.
Yeah, I think this is their first game against New Zealand opposition.
I think so.
So yeah, this is going to be an interesting one because this is going to be the Rebels' first real true test out of the Australasia and South African conferences. So yeah, we said Hurricanes and by 10.
And then we go into Saturday, Auckland, Blues vs Sharks. The way the Sharks are playing, it's Blues.
Yeah, we go to the Blues by 10 minimum.
Yeah. Then we go to Canberra, capital of Australia. Little interesting fact there.
Yeah, and it's an Australian derby, so this should hopefully be an exciting game as well.
Yeah, it was really not quite flip of the coin for us, but it was a tough one to call. We were going Brumbies, one because they're home, and just because of momentum from their last outing, even though they had to bye this week. So Brumbies by 5.
And which brings us to our 50-50 game of the weekend.
Well, it's not 50-50. It's 50-50 in the sense that we both have picked a winner. It's not the same winner. Well, but we're not flipping a coin here.
No, we're not. We're both going with a heart on this one, so please don't judge us on this. It's the Bulls versus the Stormers. I'm a Stormers boy.
I'm a Bulls boy. So we've decided to make things interesting.
Yeah,
and you're going to hold us accountable. We will do it as a part of our review of the game. Whichever team wins, the loser
has to take a shot of Tabasco sauce.
Yeah. On camera. There we go.
There, bet is set.
Bet is set. Okay, I personally went Bulls by 5 points.
I went Stormers by 5 points. We both got positives and negatives out of this one. The negatives for the Stormers, one, they're going to be travelling upcountry to altitude, so that's going to affect them.
For those of you who don't know, Pretoria sits at around 1,300 to 1,500 meters above sea level.
Stormers also haven't had a bye as of yet, so they're pretty much in a long season by the time they actually get a bye. So that might have a factor, but for me, the positives, the Stormers forwards and backs have been really good and really solid. So for me, I think that is going to see them through, hopefully for 80 minutes. But hey, I'm being hopeful here. By 5 points, Nick is going to speak to you.
Yeah,
but his positives.
The Bulls for me, I think even though they came away with 3 losses on the tour, they showed some really good positives. They played really well as a unit, which is something that they didn't have last season. They're really gelling as a team. The only downside I have is that the scrum is very weak right now, and going against the Stormers scrum that is very strong, I'm just hoping that there's not too many of them, because that will be a clear victory for the Stormers. But for me, with the Stormers being at altitude, Bulls being at Fortress Loftus again, and wanting to give the fans something to come and watch them play, I'm going to have to go Bulls by 5.
Well, there you have it, and then you'll officially see it after in our review video, the loser taking their bitter pill.
Alright, so that brings us to Sunday's game, 2:30 in Johannesburg, Emirates Airline Park. It's a new experience for us. We don't normally have rugby on Sunday afternoons here in South Africa. I'm just really hoping the Grand Prix does not clash.
Well, I think we have DSTV's new thing where you can actually record a game while watching another one.
But now you're asking me to choose.
Come on, Lions versus Crusaders.
Ferrari versus Mercedes.
It's a tough nut to crack, so we'll figure it out as the weekend progresses. But let's get back to the cash cow. Lions versus Crusaders. Lions have been woeful the last 3 weeks, looking pretty aimless, indecisive in open play, dominated by lesser teams in the physical contacts. I don't think they're going to pose much threat to the Crusaders, unfortunately.
No, I don't think so either, and I think the Crusaders are playing really good rugby right now, so it's definitely Crusaders.
Yeah, especially considering that...
You were very harsh with your score prediction, though. I'm looking at our notes, and that's your handwriting.
It is, but I'm going to say the Crusaders had the rub of the green last year where they beat the Lions in the final at Emirates Park. That is definitely going to be a massive confidence booster for the Crusaders, and they can take stock in the fact that the Lions have been really bad. So yeah, I said the Crusaders were going to take this one by 14 points.
Yeah, so there you have it, our predictions for the week. Please like the video, leave any comments you think we should do. Look forward to our little bet. And yeah, subscribe to the channel, please. We are enjoying seeing those numbers tick up slowly, and it's good to see.
Yeah, and please leave a comment and hit the bell icon in the bottom corner over here where you can get notified when we upload our next videos.
Cool, thanks for watching.
Have a great weekend.
Cheers.
Bye.